Hello and welcome to The Inquisitive Crafter. I'm Katrina Stewart from Crafty Jacks, and today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about measuring your skeins on your niddy noddy. So I received a couple of questions for this after the video on how to wind off on your niddy noddy, so I thought I'd take a few minutes and answer some of those questions. So when we wind off on our niddy noddy, we end up with a skein of yarn. But how do we know how much yardage is on there? One of the simplest things that you can do is to take your niddy noddy and actually measure how long it is. So you can do that by just winding a tape measure in the same manner that you would your skein. So over those arms in the same pattern. And so mine measures at 61.5 inches. So what you do is when you're winding off your skein, once you're finished or while you're winding, you count the number of wraps that you have on your niddy noddy. So let's say you have 100 wraps. You would take that 100 wraps, multiply it by the 61 inches, that is the length of your niddy noddy, and then divide that by 36. And the reason that you divide by 36 is that's the number of inches in 1 yard. So when you are finished that, you've got your approximate yardage. Now, depending on the fiber that you have spun, you are going to get some shrinkage. So something like Targhee tends to shrink a fair amount because it puffs up so much, whereas something like BFL tends to have very little shrinkage just because of the nature of those two different fibers. So knowing your fiber is really helpful for determining how much loss you're going to have. Now, I haven't found a formula for calculating loss, but I have also never really worried about it. I take my measurement when my skein comes off my niddy noddy, and that is my approximate yardage, give or take 5 or 10 yards. So what I do is I always sort of subtract about 20 or 30 yards from whatever that total is to account sort of for loss. But for something like Targhee, I might subtract like 50 yards. If you want to be really accurate, after you've washed and set your skein, you can re-measure it by winding it back on a niddy noddy or running it through a yarn counter. Now those are becoming available more readily, where it's just a device that as you're winding your skein into a cake, you can run it through a machine that will count your yardage for you. But if you want to keep it really simple, just allow yourself a little bit of wiggle room for yardage loss from the shrinkage that happens when you measure your skein. So that is really simple how you do yardage measurements. I hope that answers your question. If you have questions for me that you would like me to answer in a future video, please send your questions to ask@craftyjacks.ca. That's ask@craftyjacks.ca, and I will do my very best to do that for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.